All right, well, welcome everyone to today's webinar on the AutoCAD electrical toolset. My name is Joy, and I am part of the team here at NextGen CAM, NextGen Solutions, and we are so glad that you joined us. Before we get going and I pass this over to Brad, who will be handling the technical piece of today's webinar, just a heads up about who we are. So NextGen CAM is an Autodesk partner. As you may or may not know, Autodesk is the largest design and manufacturing software company in the world, and we happen to be one of their partners here in the United States. We, NextGen Solutions, we offer support and services for all the products included in the design and manufacturing portfolio from Autodesk. We have a really deep well of knowledge on the CAM side of things, and so you'll see that for the past 6 out of 7 years, we have been the #1 CAM partner. However, this year we were very excited to be awarded the top service delivery partner just back here in February by Autodesk. So in addition to that, we are also a gold partner and an authorized training center. So with all that, I will hand it over to Brad. Take it away, sir.
First off, I'll introduce myself. I'm Brad Strong. I've been an AutoCAD electrical teacher for 5 years with applied engineering, now with NextGen CAM, teaching on-site with customers and in the conference rooms, and now remotely quite a bit. So that's what I've been doing for 5 years. Been using AutoCAD as a product for over 30 years. And so I'm very familiar with the AutoCAD side and very comfortable with the electrical now. And so what I'd like to do is give you an overview about what AutoCAD electrical is, the features it has, the time-saving features, the things that you can do with it, how it works better than just AutoCAD general out of the box. And just so where I'd like to start is just by going over, give you a general overview of AutoCAD electrical. Then we'll go into some of the time-saving features and some of the benefits and features of AutoCAD electrical. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, which I have AutoCAD electrical pulled up. What you'll see here is AutoCAD electrical. I have a schematic drawing pulled up, and the way AutoCAD electrical works is it works with what is called a project. And over here on the left, you'll see my project manager. This shows that my project name is Module 13. And a project would consist of 3 types of drawings for AutoCAD. One would be a schematic. The other would be a cabinet or a cabinet such as your like a electrical cabinet where you put physical components, and this is how your cabinet would be built. And if you go back to the schematic for a second, you'll see a schematic is how your project is wired together. Push buttons, PLCs, relays, lights. That's all how it's wired together. Then if you go to the panel, this is how it's physically laid out and built at your site or on your customer's site. So, and with that, the beauty of AutoCAD is that it ties the information together between schematics and between panels. So if you built your schematic and then you want to build your panel, you can grab that information from your schematic and start building your panel. And you can do the reverse is true also. If you're a person that wants to lay your panel out, put your components in, and they say, okay, now I want to build my schematic and wire this all together. You can grab that information from your panel and build a schematic. And so the beauty of AutoCAD electrical is that if you go out there and change something in your schematic, I change a manufacturer's part number, it will also change the manufacturer's part number in my panel. And again, the third type of drawing with AutoCAD electrical is a report drawing or a report. It doesn't have to necessarily be a drawing. A report can be output into a spreadsheet, shared across your ERP system. And here's an example of a report drawing of a report that's been put on a drawing. If I go to my bill of materials, this is all the information I gathered from. I can gather this from my whole project, all my drawings, and build a bill of materials. I can gather a bill of materials just for my operator panel and grab that report too. So that when I go to build this panel, I switch back to the panel. I could have bill of materials just for this panel and put it right on my drawing. So it says, okay, I have three fuses here. Item 1, I need 3 of those. They go in this location. Here's where my DIN rail goes. Here's a enclosure made by Allen Bradley or whoever makes Hoffman, whoever makes enclosures. That's would be my panel build. So that's the beauty of AutoCAD, that I'm sharing it. It's all connected together through one database, so that if I'm changing my drawing, my schematic, I'm also changing my panel. So there's not that disconnect between if I took this component out of my schematic, did I remember to take it out of my panel also? So that's the beauty of AutoCAD Electrical, that it's sharing the information on a database. You're not erasing it. And then when you finish your project, it does error checking. It looks for wires that aren't connected. It looks for components that may not have a catalog number attached to them. So that's the overall concept of AutoCAD Electrical. With some of the, and then I'll kind of break this down into working on it. What features you can do. I'll start with a schematic. What are the nice things about AutoCAD Electrical, the time saving things within AutoCAD Electrical. So if we go, the next thing, if I go into a schematic, what a schematic is built up is components. And then if you're used to normal AutoCAD, if you built schematics in the past with AutoCAD, you drew components and you turn them into a block. You inserted those, connected them with lines. AutoCAD Electrical has the beauty of connecting things by wires, and each component is a smart component where it has information that goes with it. I'll just pull up, this is a component is a block. And with that component, you can add things like description of it. You can add the manufacturer. You can say where the location code or installation code. If I want this, if I know that these go in an operator station, I create an operator station. And then the catalog information that goes with it. So I can say, oh, this is the Allen Bradley catalog number. I can look up all my Allen Bradley part numbers. I could search all the catalog. If I open that up a little bit, you'll see all these are all the push buttons that come, these come out of the box with AutoCAD. So I can change this to an emergency stop push button. And so now I've changed the part number on that catalog, and I say, okay. And now and here's the beauty of AutoCAD Electrical. When you change something, it says, okay, I need to go out and change that control, that panel drawing, because you updated that part number. I can say, let's do that right now, or let's put that on my task list. Because I'll make a bunch of changes on the schematic. And then if I get to a point where I've made a bunch of changes, I can say, okay, make all my changes now across the whole database. It's going to go out there. It's going to change my panel. It's going to change my bill of materials, update all that. And so that I'm not going out there going, okay, I changed this drawing. Let's go out here and open my panel, my cabinet drawing. Or actually that, if you look at, here's that push button in my panel. It's on the door of my panel. Here's the bill of materials. It changed that number. It's going to change the part number on this bill of material. It's going to change that push button manufacturer number in this drawing. Normally, I would have to make a change, go out here, open up another drawing, make the change on that. The beauty about AutoCAD is that it's making those changes as we go along. So let's go back to the control drawing. So I changed the push button. And another way to build a schematic is, we'll go up here to the schematic menu. I didn't really touch on this, but if you're looking at AutoCAD Electrical, it has several menus across the top. This is kind of the details that I'm kind of giving you an overview, but AutoCAD Electrical has all the features for AutoCAD Electrical in building schematics, panels, reports, but it also has standard out of the box AutoCAD. So if you need to make draw your own cabinet, draw your own components, you can use, if you're familiar with AutoCAD out of the box, you can use AutoCAD with this. So, and as we're talking about these push buttons, or I'm looking at things that are just out of the AutoCAD out of the box, like I want to insert a new push button or a new float switch. I can go out here to AutoCAD. It shows me fuses. I can put a fuse in here. Just add a fuse to one of my lines. I want to fuse this line. And so now it puts a fuse in there for me. That's the beauty of that. I'm not redrawing things. So that's AutoCAD's out of the box stuff. You can also build your own custom components. So if I wanted to build my own pilot light, my own power supply, I can build that and put that in AutoCAD. And that's another beauty about AutoCAD Electrical, is that I'm working here in Minnesota, and I have another colleague of mine. We're working on the same project, or he's working with AutoCAD Electrical, and I'm using some special IC or special push button that AutoCAD doesn't have. So AutoCAD Electrical allows you to build these components within AutoCAD Electrical, build your own custom components, add them to your library, and we're all sharing a library across the network, different locations in the country or in the world. As I build library components, those are added to our catalog, custom components, and someone out there, someone in California, can access that library component right away and start adding that into their circuit. So we're not all working as islands within AutoCAD Electrical. We're sharing data, we're sharing the same database of library components that each person uses. And that's what you find. And the same thing with so that's the productivity thing, time-saving thing that we're building custom components. The same thing with if I use a circuit, same circuit over and over again. Like I always have this ladder with 2 PLCs put in here. I can save this ladder as a library component. And like I said, someone working across the world can we're accessing the same library. They can put that ladder in and not have to redraw this circuit at all. So that's a real time saver for AutoCAD Electrical when building circuits. That you can build library components and share those. Another way to put in components is with your looking up AutoCAD's extensive catalog of parts. Right here, I'm just looking at push buttons, and I can look at power supplies. I can look at like float sensor. Let's see. Let's just get float switches, flow sensor. I can look at I can search the catalog of flow sensors. Here's a flow sensor with the temperature alarm made by Turk. If I click on that, it's going to first want to know which symbol I want to put into that. And so I can look at my sensors. I want to add that float level switch. And now I'm putting that into I can close this. And now I have a float switch that I could add to my schematic. It automatically adds the manufacturer's catalog. My point here is I can add a description. If this is the overflow sensor, you put overflow. I'm just going to put something in there to give an example of that information. So now when I go out to build my PLC circuit out there, my panel, and I want to wire this up, that overflow sensor is in there. And AutoCAD also adds information like wire numbers. And that wire number is also added to this, to your reports, where you have, so you're going to wire this up, you have a wire number report. You can send that report to a Brady label printer, and it'll print out all your wire labels with your specific wire numbers on here. So that's the smart information that AutoCAD adds to each drawing. And each report, each panel, each schematic shares all that information together. And that's placing components. And then, like I said before, another beauty is that I'll show you like that. What I've done here is I just dropped a component in. I can also go up here to where I said if I want to just, I've got a library of circuits that we use all the time. I can say, oh, look at this. This is user circuit 21. We can have a specific name for that. That's our motor starter circuit, or that's our float panel. And I can say insert that circuit. And instead of redrawing the circuit, I'm inserting a circuit that's already drawn for me. I can add that to my ladder. It's going to throw in my wire numbers. And that's a real time saver as far as I use that circuit on every project. We always have the same motor starter. So we use that as a time saver. So you can also, not only can you insert those circuits, I have this PLC circuit over here. I can make a library component out of that. And then someone out in LA is working on the same different project, but they go, hey, remember when you put that PLC in with the 3 lights and the push buttons? Yeah, I go, that's saved under library circuit 225, and I can put a description in there. So that's a real time saver. And that's working with schematics and building schematics. And another thing, I'll just show you, just the smart thing about AutoCAD is that I know AutoCAD Electro, you're used to just deleting things, fence everything and erase it. With AutoCAD Electro, say, I want to get rid of a push button. Very simple. I right click on this one. I say delete component. And it says, okay, are there any other components that are related to that? Let's go, if you're going to erase that, and I have another one that's attached to it. Should I erase that way? You can see it got rid of that component and healed the wires, fixed my schematic, it renumbered the wires. It would take that off of my bill of materials, take it out of my panel. If it was in my panel and I ran an error check, I can't erase that without it taking it off my panel. So that's the beauty of that. Okay, I go, okay, where's that one used? So that's kind of building and working on schematics. Very easy. I think we're used to lines, drawing things with lines. The beauty of the schematic is you do the wire command, connect things up, boom. I want to put a bunch of wires in. I can say, let's do it over here. Anyhow, I would, if I wanted to wire this PLC up, I could add all those wires at once and just go, let's just try to get multiple wire component. Now I'm just running a couple wires off of here. Another beauty about AutoCAD Electrical is it allows you to add an arrow. Like if I want to, I'm at right here, I need to continue this circuit onto another drawing. And within this project, I can add a label to that. I can start another drawing and connect wires from drawing to drawing. Many smart features there within AutoCAD that it really shows you how to connect drawings, and has smart features as far as just jumping around your drawing. There's a command, it's called a surfer. If I do a surfer right here, it'll show me all the components that are connected to this. I want to see where that component is on another drawing. I say go to. It saves this drawing, goes to that component right here. It took me to my panel drawing and said, here's where that control relay is in the next drawing. And that not only is this smart for when you're within the program. Say you print out a PDF of all this whole project where I sent it to my customer, and they have the PDF. When they pull the PDF up on their computer, it has hyperlinks with components. So you can use the surfer. You can use surfer just when someone else doesn't have AutoCAD Electrical. They can do that surfer where they can jump from drawing to drawing component to component and find things in different drawings. So it maintains that connectivity in the output of a PDF file too. So that's just one of the beautiful features. So that that's kind of an overview of the schematic of with time saving. I'll go back to that and just kind of close up with schematics, and then we'll look at panels. So that's my schematic, and we added components, we erased components, we can build circuits, library components of circuits. Very easy to build custom components that you only, AutoCAD has a very extensive catalog, but I find many customers that say, we use a special push button here that isn't in the catalog. So you build your own custom library components. And so from after I have this schematic, then I can go out and build my cabinet. And this is a little less extensive as far as technicalities of it. We have the same features of that you can edit a component. I can change the catalog number of that's a Eaton circuit breaker. It's a main disconnect. It's in my schematic. It's called main disconnect. Here's a circuit breaker. Item number 7 on my bill of materials. So with the cabinet drawings, they're actually called panel drawings. You're working with a different menu up here, and same type of thing. You have a place where you can put in icons. If I want to put a push button, what I get is a push button like this. I can say catalog lookup. Here's my red push buttons. I would put in this Allen Bradley one. I say okay. So here's a push button from Allen Bradley. I want to add this to the side of my cabinet. I'm putting it out there. Again, I can assign that item number very quickly. I can say, that's the reset button. There we go. I put in a push button for me. I'm building my panel. Control, and then that's just the way that I put them into an icon menu. Another way is I can say, go out there and let's look at my schematic. It'll say, okay, what if I say process all my drawings. Right here, it shows me, it's right here. If I say an X, these are things that I've already put into my panel. I got a push button right there that's in my panel. Same type of thing. I want to insert that into that limit switch. I think I say insert. So right now here's a limit switch that's in my schematic. I can add that to my panel now. See, when I add that, it's a GE control. It's a GE switch there. It adds the description. I put it in my schematic, and so that now that shows that component as entered into my panel. And the third way of putting things into your panel is just you can say manufacturer's menu. This is where I can, same type of thing. It's where I'm looking at the icon menu. Hang on a second. Again, I can, so that I can do same type of thing. I can say Allen Bradley footprints. I can say, let's put a pilot light in. A red pilot light, red standard, same type of thing. This is a pilot light, put that in. So you also have the catalog database within the panel that you can look up. Right here, I can look that up. Show me all that. I can just say all the Allen Bradley pilot lights. Here we go. Same type of thing. Building panels, you can use icon menus, catalogs, your schematic lists. And the same thing with we go back to a schematic. I can put things in my panel. Then I have a list when I'm building my schematic of things that are in a panel that aren't in my schematic yet, and it allows me to put those in. So that's a little bit about building panels, and all this is all the databases are connected together, and so that they share that. And same type of thing. If I wanted to, this is a panel I always use. I could make a template out of this and pull this drawing up again. Then the third type of thing you get out of AutoCAD is the reports. And just one type of report. Report drawing of bill of materials. Bill of materials is the most common type of report, but you can also do things like wire to, like I said before, you can do wire to wire reports, wire numbering reports, output reports to wire labels. So then you have up there, you have the report panel, and this is the same type of thing. And then within AutoCAD also is, it has a feature of for error checking. If I've got my project and I've got it all done, and now let's look at my, I've got changes I've made that aren't done yet. So I'm gonna make those changes now. So now it's gonna update my project with the changes I've made so far. And so now everything, all my manufacturer's CAD numbers and catalogs are the same across schematics, panels, and bill of materials. So those are just, if I just look at, I'll just show you, for example, some of the reports we have here, like a bill of materials, missing bill of materials, anything that's on your schematic that it's not there because you haven't updated your drawings yet. Component from to, component wire list. If you work a lot with PLCs, here's your PLC addresses and descriptions, which helps with the person writing the software for the PLC. Terminal numbers, connector summary, wire labels, cable from to. Very extensive reports there. You can just do a report for one drawing, put that report on the drawing. Like I said, if I'm working with a panel and I want to add a bill of materials, I can just say, let's run a bill of materials just for that panel and add it to the drawing. So when I go to build that panel, I've got my bill of materials right there with the drawing. Another feature within AutoCAD is the ability to work, export. I'll pull up another schematic here. I just go with this schematic. So with the import export data, I can take information from this drawing and then export everything, all these components to a spreadsheet. I can say, I want to export, if say you have a lot of changes to make with this, and it's mainly changing your switch numbers and descriptions. I could say, let's take this drawing, let's export it to a spreadsheet. And I say, let's do all the components. I can do all. Sometimes, and I can do that. I can say all, so I say, okay. I'm just going to say, I want to export this drawing to an Excel spreadsheet. I say, okay. It takes that, puts it out. I'm going to just do control and overwrite the one I've already done. I'm say yes, replace that. So now I have the information from this drawing out there in a spreadsheet that I can manipulate. So I go up there, I look at that spreadsheet. Here's my components. Here's what they're called. Here's my PLCs, my PLC IO descriptions. All this, I can go out there. So I have, if I just did my components, it'd be a much easier thing to read, but I did everything. My panel terminals. So I can go in here and I can change these component numbers. Instead of having going one by one and change those, I can change these, save this file, and then I can say, import that material, control back into my drawing. It's going to update this drawing, active drawing. It would update everything here with the changes I made to that spreadsheet. So that's a real time saver. AutoCAD also has a feature where it's a PLC IO utility. I won't demonstrate this right now, but you can build a spreadsheet with your PLC numbers and addresses in there and the components add to it, and it will build drawings for you automatically. It'll put those PLCs in, put push buttons in, anything you put in your spreadsheet. It'll build a drawing from information you have in the spreadsheet. So if you're doing a lot of work with PLCs and you want push buttons and stuff you repeat to, you can do that within AutoCAD Electrical, bringing in that information. The last thing I'd like to talk about with AutoCAD Electrical is what I find with customers. So say I had a customer out there and they built this one standard conveyor belt, and then they sell it, another customer orders that same thing, but they change it. It changes a couple of things in the drawings. I have a whole set of drawings here. I can copy this project to another project. It'll copy all the drawings. And then all I have to do is go in. I have a whole set of drawings. And now I just have to go in there and make a couple changes instead of redrawing the whole thing or copying blocks and copying and pasting from drawing to drawing. I have a copy of the same exact project that I can go in there. I can very easily change the drawing, part number on the drawings, project wide. I can make a couple of changes to schematic and that project's done. Instead, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm copying an existing project. So those are just some of the time-saving features of AutoCAD Electrical. The last thing I just have a little slideshow to show you that a study about what AutoCAD has done as far as just time-saving features using AutoCAD Electrical versus standard AutoCAD. Just with the AutoCAD Electrical, if you creating new designs, it's 84% faster. And like I said, if you copy a project over, they say 77% faster, but there's just a couple of changes that project, instead of rebuilding the project, you're going to have much more time saving than that. Productivity gains are set in AutoCAD. I said, like, it has comprehensive symbol libraries. So you're pulling in things from AutoCAD extensive catalog. Also, you're sharing that stuff across, you're not reinventing the wheel every time you build a circuit. You can share that across your company. Like I said, the spreadsheet has the automatic PLC IO changes. One thing I didn't touch on was there's a mark verify command within AutoCAD. You put a time, you have your project and you finish it, and you need to send it to your customer for approval. You put a timestamp on that, and then any changes your customer makes, you'll get that drawing back, and it'll show you what changes were made. It'll mark all those changes within your drawing. And then, like I said before, you can copy projects and drawing reuse. But once that's done, you can use it over and over again with just a click of a button. Automatic wiring, numbering, and tagging. AutoCAD is very good about putting the wire numbers on there and tagging your components. And then with that, each wire has the information that goes with that as far as the color of the wire, the gauge of the wire, the number of the wire. It has, like I said, the components that are very electrical specific as far as building circuits, moving components, deleting components, adding ladders, very, very specific electrical, specific drawing commands that you'll use over and over again. And then I know that the menu is sometimes very extensive, but once you get used to it and use it on a daily basis, a lot of time saving there. And this is what I talked about, where it would build the PLC IO drawings, put your PLCs in, connect all your components up from an Excel spreadsheet. And here's tracking electrical drawing changes. That's where I said, if you timestamp your drawing, you send it to another group, they add a few things, delete a few things. You have an audit trail of all those changes that were made. Project drawing reuse. That's where I said you can copy a whole project. You can also say, I just want to use this. I just want to use this circuit drawing in another drawing. So I could take part of another project, copy that whole circuit, paste it into my new drawing, my new project, and that's a real time saving. That you're not redrawing circuits that you use over and over again. You can copy and paste them, or you can put them in your library and have them at the click of a button. So here's some numbers as far as time saving. I find that once you get used to using AutoCAD Electrical, it's hard to say that that's 85% time saving, because once you build your libraries and build your projects and you're reusing things, it's much more time saving than reinventing the wheel each time. So it compares basic AutoCAD. A drawing may take you 2 hours. It's saying that with the electric tool set, you're out in 5 minutes, 8 seconds doing this type of time savings.